I got a question for the panel. This might be a controversial question, so bear with me. We've all been waiting for FSD partnership to be announced, and some people think that they might actually announce that at the earnings call, because that's when Elon talks about announcements. There's a potential that Tesla may not actually partner with any company. Now, they might just do one or two. But the reason is like, okay, if you do partner with a large legacy OEM, he's already said we want to partner. He said that many times. He said that we want to partner with somebody who can an automaker that can make at least 1 million cars. But when they partner with an automaker, it's going to take them at least 2, 3, or 4 longer years to actually create a brand new vehicle, roll it out to be able to be autonomous and ready. Why would Tesla do that? Why not just build these cybercabs, as many as they can, build more of them versus spending time trying to get a partner to do this, and they're going to be late in the game anyways. Let's go down the list here. Who thinks that they're definitely going to partner, and that this thing that I just meant, the second option, is just not something they?
Well, one argument would be data collection, right? Like the more vehicles on the road, the more data you can pull from. So,
but it's going to be 4 years away from now. It's just easier for Tesla to just build more cars.
Herbert, in any case, they will pretend that they are proposing it to partners, because you don't want to be the monopoly here.
Yeah.
So all of you agree that they will make partnerships?
No, that's not what I said. I said they'll propose it.
Well, I can take a stab at why they might not partner. First of all, they historically have been very protective of their technology and the brand, and the dangers if it's implemented improperly, it could be dangerous on the roads. They'd also technically be cannibalizing themselves. If other cars also have FSD, people may prefer another brand, so that may not be good. And also the complexity of integration goes back to the safety point number one, integrating FSD into another automaker's vehicles. Like who will handle all the data, upload, all the quality control, etc. The technical challenges are insane. I'm sure Jeff can probably speak to a lot of those technical challenges. Why they might partner, the 3 reasons would be obviously more miles, more data, as somebody else in the call said. The path to a greener, cleaner electric future, more cars on the road, new revenue streams would be extremely high margin for them to do that. And of course, maybe strategic alliances. Maybe they get something back from sharing FSD with another partner. They'd be kind of my 3 reasons why they wouldn't. Mostly technical, safety, complexity. And why they would, more penetration, more revenue, more margin, and better alliances. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Just my.
Where do you stand then, James? What's if they will partner for sure? And then why has it taken this long?
I think they will, because they want to pivot. The money is in the software, not in the making of these vehicles. Maybe Robotaxi flips the narrative on that, because technically you make something for 15 or 20 grand that makes 30 grand a year. That is infinite ROI as far as I'm concerned. But I think counter to or supportive of Alexandra's point is, if they own all the FSD and all the autonomous vehicles on the road around the planet, that's not a good look. They have to share.
Okay, Omar, curious what where you're sitting on this.
Yeah, so Tesla has created something here that has now eclipsed their auto business. So forget about the auto business. Forget about trying to sell a ton of Model Ys. Their vehicles are always going to run FSD the best, but you have a technology here that, if you think about how many drivers there are in the United States or globally, let's just consider the United States. There's about 200 million drivers in this country. So we have demand for roughly 200 some million units, maybe more, maybe 400 million units of self-driving software. And so Tesla has, 2 million units a year of production capacity. Let's say they even scale that up to 20 million a year. You're still talking about really 10 years to meet the market's demand for this technology. So licensing is really going to be an essential piece of the picture. And I expect earnings from licensing to actually eclipse the earnings they generate selling vehicles, the vehicle hardware, that is. And in terms of other automakers announcing it, they're not going to give up on doing it themselves until Tesla's demonstrated unsupervised operation on the road using just pure vision without any major safety incidents. At that point, everyone's going to be lining up at the door. If you can really just add a couple $1,000s of hardware on the car and you're unsupervised, of course, everybody would love that capability. It's far above what they have. But until then, they're not going to want to tell their investors they're giving up. So I think licensing is really going to be essential, not just to EVs, but to other gas cars. I think it's a safety must. And really, we are seeing NHTSA and European regulators mandate automatic emergency braking. I do believe that by 2030 or sometime in the 2030s, all new vehicles will be required to have technology like this. And what the market doesn't really understand is that Tesla's the only one who can really supply a system like this right now.
So based on your answer, it sounds like that's licensing. You don't expect a licensing announcement until maybe mid-year when they've demonstrated it some more. Some people think that in the earnings call, like in 14 days from now or whatever it is, that's when they're going to make an announcement. Who here thinks that they might? Who is expecting to hear an announcement by this earnings call?
I don't think so. But within the next year, it's possible. And once you see the first one, like NACS, nobody's going to want to be the last one who doesn't have it.
Interesting.
I'll take the other side. I think there's a more than 0% chance that we see something.
Yeah.
This quarter. Hey, I'm putting my neck out there. I think there's a shot. Elon's been hinting that they're closer and closer to a deal, a licensing deal. But again, not just to be contrarian to Omar here, but I don't think it actually will work the way we saw the supercharging domino effect. I think you'll see, for instance, like I don't think GM is going to succumb to this. I don't think. I mean, I don't know, Waymo's probably a bad example, but I think you're going to see a lot of other people still do their own thing. And then I think you're going to see certain automakers outside of the States that still don't believe in it, or because we don't have anything yet in Europe, it's not going to happen, or potential friction in China. I don't know. That for some reason, the whole NACS, I don't see that falling into the same, or the way that happened. I don't see FSD happen the same way, unfortunately. I hope it does. I hope I'm wrong. But I think it becomes 1, 2, maybe 3 players that jump on, and next you know, we have our 3 social media companies, our 3 public cloud companies, our 3 FSD companies.
Yeah, I'm closer to you, Nick, because the way I think of it is like there's hundreds and hundreds of automakers globally, and to think that not a single one of them has reached out yet, I think that the opposite has happened. Many automakers have reached out and trying to get FSD partner with them. And then Tesla's the one that's saying, well, I don't want to partner with you. You're too small. You're too slow. You have to commit at least 1 million cars. And it's Tesla deciding who they want to partner with. And when they come out and announce it, they'll announce it all at the same time. It just doesn't, it's like, the other option, right? Which is not a single automaker because of pride or because they think they can do it themselves has yet decided to partner. I think that's just less likely than the idea that we already know, for example, that I was going to use the bot example, but there's lots of companies that's already knowing that Tesla is way ahead in both bots and cars, and you're hearing everybody talking about it, even the CEOs of Huawei and Xiaomi, and of course Jensen Huang. Everybody's saying that Tesla's already solved this problem. I don't know. That doesn't feel like it's waiting for that. Sat, did you want to join in?
Yeah, I just think that licensing has to happen at some point because Tesla can't do everything alone. And Elon's stance and Tesla's stance has always been to get everyone on board on the mission of sustainable transportation. So it's always going to be out there. It's just we don't know when. But the stance is not for Tesla to do it alone because it's not possible. Even manufacturing just the base of the vehicles every year, like 15 to 20 million a year, you can't even replace that with Tesla. They don't even have enough factories. So in terms of safety and what the prognosis of what the FSD is already going to providing, people just don't know yet. But at a threshold when unequivocally everyone's going to say it's safer than humans and it's going to be additive to your safety, and the other OEMs are going to say it costs too much, we're not software companies and we can't do it as good as Tesla, they're going to do it. And I mean, I watched Toyota, they're like waiting, they're trying to milk the hybrid revenue as long as possible, and then they want to jump into the EV stuff later. So I don't see how at least one or a couple of OEMs aren't going to license with Tesla in the future.
Thank you, Sat. Jeff, welcome. Thank you. We were just talking about whether or not Tesla's going to license FSD, and are they going to announce it in the earnings call? Or there's even some people thinking that they don't need to license because it'll take an automaker 3 to 4 years to build a car. They're just going to go ahead and build them themselves, and they've create as many cars as they can on their own. Can we hear you, Jeff? Can't hear you. Nope. Okay. Well, I want to talk about Elon Musk as the other topic here. Some people are saying, people are anti-Elon, saying that he was caught in the, his, some things like, for example, his gaming, that he's actually hiring people to catch up his levels. He's not as good in the levels as he said he was, and that if he's lying there, he's lying in other areas as well. Yeah, there you go. Omar's hands up right away. Omar, go ahead, please.
Well, I mean, I was actually going to make a point about the previous topic. I think,
Okay.
I think it hasn't really hit people yet that we're seeing a major disruption here with autonomy. You don't see these sort of step changes in technology every day where the entire product category changes, right? You think about like black and white to color TVs. You can't go to the store and buy a black and white TV anymore. Every car is going to have autonomy. There won't be any cars for sale that don't have autonomy and that don't have advanced AI active safety features because nobody's going to want to buy them. So right now, why hasn't anyone licensed FSD? Because nobody cares. It's not affecting their sales. No other cars have it except Teslas. People are still buying their cars. So what is the urgency to do this, right? They have whatever lane keeping assist features are there. At some point in the future, and we can speculate forever about when this will be, but it's pretty clear just listening to people who've used this, at some point in the future, consumers will not want to buy a car that doesn't have these type of capabilities. And at that point, everybody will have to either make something or license something. And given the time it takes to integrate it, we're talking a 2 to 3 year development cycle at most. I think if these automakers were smart, they would start integrating it and making those announcements now. But not all of them are that smart. So some of them probably won't be able to survive long enough to integrate technology like this into their lineup.
Jeff, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
We can now. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, thanks. Sorry, I'm late today. I was just going to say on this topic, I think one important thing is people understand is the difference between an NVIDIA solution and a partnership with NVIDIA and then a partnership with Tesla. With NVIDIA, it's like here are some components, but in terms of like the data, the very detailed product integration, like they're not, NVIDIA aren't automobile, integration experts, reliability experts. They haven't taken the whole thing through the paces, but they have tremendous expertise in AI, machine learning, and developing these computers. But what they expect with their 80 OEM partners is they expect them to pull, these solutions and, set up their training, set up the in-vehicle solution, figure out how to engineer and take the data, have it working together. So you have the training data, you have the parameter size for the, like they expect the system engineering, the AI system engineering to be incumbent upon the OEM. What Tesla is going to do is Tesla is not going to engineer everybody's car and everybody's solution for them. But in these situations, what they would do is they would take the development kit, call it in parentheses, the development kit, and they would take it one step further, where it's like, hey, we've actually integrated, like the Tesla solution's actually been integrated and it's running in our vehicles today. And all you have to do now is adapt it for your vehicle. And then we have the training apparatus, we have everything set up for you to start inputting your own data if you need your own data. So it takes it, the Tesla solution is much further advanced. And that's why you hear Jensen Huang talking about, what Elon and the team have is far more advanced than anything else out there. And so, I mean, yeah, and they're not mutually exclusive. It's not like Ashok and his whole team are going to go and like work on Honda. Like that's not how these partnerships work. Like the core development team will be, for the most part, cordoned off and working on advancing, AI further and further for the Tesla solutions. And in the licensing situation, a small team will form and branch off incremental to that effort and work on, getting the solution, getting the dev kits out, setting up and connecting procurement, like all those different things. It'll be like another arm of the company. Like this is what Qualcomm does. Like Qualcomm, like they do silicon chip development, but they have a whole other arm that's focused on working with all the partners, working with licensing, working on the dev kits, and so forth. So that's what would happen. It would be a huge additional form of revenue. But I can see why people have questions on this and like, will it ever happen, or should Tesla just focus on building their? I'm just telling you that it's different people. It's not going to be Lars. It's not going to be Ashok working on. I make it up like Honda or whatever. It's not going to be them working on that. It would be completely different people. Definitely, what Tesla needs to do though is take that and develop that next development kit that takes it one step further. So I think it's in the cards. I think it's going to happen, but they are two different efforts in terms of the internal effort versus the licensing.
Yeah, Jeff, you've been saying that you were expecting it to happen sooner than later. Are you one of the folks who thinks that it might actually be announced at the earnings call?
It's possible. I don't want to get it down to a date, but you just know the other side of this may be Tesla realizing that, Tesla may have, come to a realization of like, look, hey, we have to be really selective with our partners and who we do this with. So Tesla there may be multiple people that want to take a license with Tesla, but there's really only very few. I mean, we just saw some of the sales data, right, on EVs globally. The $15,000 BYD, I don't know how you pronounce it, Kinfo or car, the QIN, that doesn't sell as much as the Model Y. So there really isn't a volume winner out there per se, where it's kind of one model and there's intense concentration with it. Like there's no Model Y for Tesla to work with. There's no like a BYD or Hyundai version of a Model Y. Everything else is pretty low volume. So that may be another thing delaying this. Is my point is like something that's worthy of the Tesla bandwidth and time to go do this.
So, and that explains why you think that it was delayed as well. They're trying to pick the right partner, right? That's where I was leaning as well.
I mean, I think that's part of it. I think it's part of it. I think the other thing is, it's just, yeah. And by the way, the other thing is like, just because first off, it's not going to take years for a Korean or Chinese company to do this integration. Like to me, the gap, I kind of view it as like Android releases. Like when Android 15 comes out, like at Motorola, we got it down to like a 2-week gap. Where other OEMs were taking 8 to 10 months to get the latest Android integrated. I know this is going to be more difficult, but the point is like they will work this down, and the Koreans and the Chinese will probably be half the development and integration time of the Western European and the U.S. automakers, and they'll continue to work that lower. So And then the other thing is like the revenue doesn't start when they start selling cars. Tesla will get revenue in the form of non-recurring engineering funds. They'll get like there could be a number of different things that they do. Oh man, I lost power.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We heard you. That was great. Thank you, Jeff. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com. Let's change the topic to Elon Musk.